Hello everybody, how's it going? Constant Truth here. Just want to say I apologize for my last video not having any audio. I messed something up in the settings, what have you. And I just want to say I'm sorry about the way I look right now. It's just I'm outside. I got family in town. This is the only place I can really go to talk. Now, my main video for today is going to be about Amanda Todd. More so, the responses and videos that have been put out by MrREPZION, who, you know, bro, I love you. I agree with most of the stuff you say. I follow you. I go on Twitter. But I sent him a Twitter reply a couple days ago, and he said, well, with people who think like you, I want you to unfollow me, which I think is totally unfair, you know, just because you have a differing opinion. Now, the whole thing is that him and others, especially a lot of people that are posting replies, try to make it seem like that Amanda Todd, and of course for those of you who don't know, that's like she's like what, a 16, 17, 15-year-old girl in Canada who killed herself because some photos of her being flashing a camera were taken without her knowledge and was being circulated around her schools, and plus two, she got beat up by a girl because she slept with that girl's boyfriend, knowing that that was or that the guy had a girlfriend. So I'll get into that in a minute. But with his videos, he's trying to make it seem like, and this is all under the deal of bullying, that she was 100% innocent and had no culpability, if that's the right word to use, in this particular situation, which I call bullshit. Now, don't get me wrong, it's tragic whenever somebody takes their own life, especially in a stupid situation like this. And I'm not saying that she in any way, shape, or form deserved what happened to her, because nobody does. But a lot of it could have been avoided if she would have made better choices. Now, once again, the guys who did all this stuff to her, you know, they shouldn't have done what they did, but they did. So, of course, they are somewhat at fault. But once again, she's at fault as well, too. Now, the first thing that happened, of course, was a flashing incident. She was talking to some guy that she didn't know online, and he asked her to flash him. She did. He did a screen capture and circulated it around. Now, reading some different stories, now I actually found a post where somebody had made a collage of a bunch of different photos, and that wasn't the first time she'd ever flashed. Now, if it was a one-time thing, you know, right off as being stupid, cool, but there was a collage made of not only her, that one that she flashed, but about 5 other photos from 5 other different times where she flashed the camera, or, you know, the whatever was used, and somebody could have taken photos of it. So if that was her last time that she did it, you know, she knew what she was doing. She wasn't being coerced. She did it. And there's also photos of her, and these are all blacked out, thank God, that show her on her bed, on her knees, and she has her pants down. Now, in one, you can tell that she's wearing a really, really skimpy set of underwear, and another one, she's turned around, and you can't tell if she's wearing it or not. And then there's another one that's blocked that almost makes it look like she didn't have on any underwear at all. So she had done this before. It wasn't like the first time. Now, on top of that, too, one of the things that almost did it and broke the straw that broke the camel's back was the fact that she was told by this guy that she had liked, who had befriended her, and of course he used that to his advantage. So the guy was scum. I won't deny that. But he told her to come over to her house one night, or one day. He's like, yeah, my parents are out and my girlfriend's out of town. So she went over and they hooked up. You can see this on her own video. She admitted to hooking up with a guy that she knew had a girlfriend, and that the girl would probably be pissed off if they found out. And of course she was, and she got beat up for it. Now, I'm not saying the girl should have beat her up. I'm not saying that the bully in this instance had any right, or you know, the recourse that he chose, or that she actually chose to do, was warranted. I'm not saying that whatsoever, because it wasn't. But I'm just getting tired of hearing that she's some kind of victim in this, even though she is to an extent, and that she wasn't culpable with it at all. Let's put it this way. You know, I'll give you an example. You know, quite a few years ago, when I was like 21 or 22, I had my car stolen. Now, a lot of people are like, oh my God, that's sad, blah, 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 blah. And I know this isn't as going as far, but it's just an example that I have for myself. And apparently what had happened was, well, I decided not to put the car in the garage because I was just too tired to open the garage doors when I got home from work, and I didn't lock the doors. Now, if you were to put Amanda Todd in this situation and say what you did about her, then I should be 100% not at fault for it, because those guys should not have stolen my car, even though I basically gave them free access to it. But, you know, being the fact that I was an adult at the time, and I'd done this ever since I was a kid, when I realized that it was partially my fault, you know, I took that. You know, I took it, sucked it up, and like, okay, learn from this lesson. You know, Amanda Todd's case, you know, you're saying once again that a lot of people are saying that she's somewhat innocent and it shouldn't have happened. No question about it. But she contributed to it because she did take those photos and she did have sex with that guy's girlfriend. So all of this, and once again, I'm not saying that it's not tragic. I'm not saying that's wrong. And I'm not saying that, you know, I'm happy that she's dead or that she deserved to die, because she didn't. But what's just pissing me off is all these people that are basically saying that she was this perfect angel and everything that happened was not her fault. And you hear some people saying, well, we all make mistakes, you know, things happen, it's not her fault. Once again, okay, you could look at that, but let's say she was actually at a store, decided to shoplift. Now, she didn't have to shoplift, but she did, and she got caught. You basically would make it sound like, well, people's way of thinking. I'm not just talking to MrREPZION, but everybody that posted here. With everything that I've heard and comments and all, you're basically saying that, oh, it wasn't her fault, she just made a mistake, it's the police's fault for catching her. Okay, but of course, too, with something like that, she didn't go up and kill herself with that. You know, she took her lumps, she took what was given to her, and she's like, you know what, I made a mistake, I'm going to pay the penalty for it. And really, she only had a couple of years left to get out of high school. She would have been fine. Now, I'm not saying, you know, I've never been depressed or anything like that, but I was picked on while I was in school, especially up until high school, because I was always the tall, lanky kid. I was taller than everybody else. Hell, I even got made fun of in the 5th grade because I had a beard coming in. First time I shaved was prior to me turning 12 years, a couple weeks before I turned 12. But of course, I didn't be like, oh, they're making fun of me, and they're passing around. Everybody around the school knows that, you know, I'm this hairy kid, and all. You know, I didn't say, oh, I'm going to go home, I'm going to kill myself. No, I just, you know, took it for what it was, and that was the end. So, once again, I'm not saying that she deserved to die. You know, nobody deserves to die in that situation. But she did have a hand in her own death. Not just the fact that she's the one who took her own life, but she made decisions that she shouldn't have made, or she should have decided differently. I mean, she shouldn't have slept with that guy, but she did. It takes two to tango, even if he was, you know, doing that, oh, baby, you're so hot, you're so cute, I just love you so much, and all. You know, she saw some culpability in that. And once again, you know, the guy that posted her snapshot, yeah, that was a dick thing to do, and he should have not done it, but she never should have flashed him. And as far as this whole bullying thing, well, before I get that, let me tell you this. I did some research on that, you know, after hearing this story. And according to the World Health Organization, the WHO, from their numbers, you know, a very conservative estimate is that about 2 million people a year kill themselves or are killed via suicide. And when you figure out that there's like 520,000 minutes in a year, it's actually 525,600, but that's getting too technical. You could look at it as saying that roughly 3 people per minute kill themselves. So roughly 20 or 21 people in the amount of time that I've been doing this have already offed themselves. And that's another thing that's actually pissed me off, is that she's getting so much attention for this. She's never, or not the only person that's killing herself because she feels that she's helpless and all, and she's being bullied. Happens all the time. I'm just wondering why she is so special. And as far as this situation with the sex and the flashing and everything, hold on. I'll be there in a minute! Okay, I'll be there in a minute. Okay, I'll be there in a minute. Sorry, getting bothered. Anyway, it just you know, pisses me off because she was culpable in this. And you know, there are people that are in a lot worse situation than she is, and they don't commit suicide, or if they do, at least I can understand. I mean, look at people that live in the Middle East, or people that live you know, war-torn things like Bosnia and Serbia and everything else. You know, they go through possibly being, or women possibly go through being raped because they have like rape gangs out there. You know, their homes are destroyed. They're on edge every night because they don't know if they're going to live or die. And, you know, there's a lot of things that are going on. Some of this also in Africa as well. But, you know, those people actually committing suicide. Well, why did she commit suicide? Well, let's see. She was from a well-to-do family. She had her picture flashing that she willingly did all over school and all over a bunch of everybody. And she got beat up for having sex with a guy that she liked that she knew had a boyfriend. So with, you know, that's just no reason to do it. All these other people from other countries that do it, I can understand, and they're the ones that are really depressed. I mean, what does she have to be, or what did she have to be depressed about, or to feel bad about? You know, poor little rich white girl, give me a fucking break. You know, and as far as the bullying, yeah, she got bullied, but like I said, so did I, and I came from a pretty decently well-to-do family. I turned out okay. I never thought of killing myself. You know, I'd been depressed. I was depressed a couple times because I was just feeling down, but I didn't kill myself, and so, you know, that's why I said in a tweet to MrREPZION that, you know, she was weak, and, you know, she was being selfish. The reason why I say being selfish, well, suicide is a catch-22. Basically, if you know, the act of actually doing it, putting a gun to your head or whatever, or wrapping a noose around your head, that takes balls, no question about it. But the mental aspect, the reason behind you doing it, is just shows how cowardly you actually are, because you're basically saying that, and I've had friends commit suicide, so, you know, I'm not just coming out this half-cocked, if you will, but that's like, you know, you're basically saying that you're giving up and you're not going to try to work through your problems or work, you know, live through maybe about a year or two of complete shit before things get better. You're just basically saying, you know what, I'm not even going to try anymore. And, you know what, I don't care what my family thinks, I don't care what my friends think, you know, this is my decision, I could fucking care less if they love me or not, and the fact that it could cause my mom to maybe even commit suicide because she misses me so much, I'm going to just fucking kill myself. And she did. And that's just some bullshit right there. I'm sorry, that's why it's a cowardly thing. And I think it's pathetic as well, too, because these people, you know, instead of trying to work through their problems and, you know, realize that some of it could have been their own fault or, you know, their own cause, which it was in this case, they just say, fuck it, I'm going to kill myself because I'm too lazy or I'm too weak to actually try to work through it. Anyway, that's my take on it. Like MrREPZION, if you're watching this, I just want to say, you know, I don't hate you or anything. I still like you. I agree with most stuff you say. Some of the stuff I don't agree with, but of course that's the way it is. That one tweet that you sent me about I should unsub because you want people with my line of thought following you, you know, that's just basically saying you want people who think exactly like you to follow, and that's bad. You don't grow as an individual if you have that. You know, it's good to have people that don't always agree with it, you know, to not have yes men all the time. So that's the end of that. I got to get going here. I have family in town, and we're about to go out. So yeah, if you have any questions, comments, or whatever, just let me know. And once again, you know, I'm not saying that she deserved to die, and I'm not saying that it's not tragic, and it doesn't suck that she killed herself and, you know, she's dead, but part of it was brought on because of her own stupidness, if you will. That's all I got to say. For those of you who watched my last video, yeah, I apologize about the audio, but once again, I had some issues with my camera that I was using, so I got it fixed now. And I'll probably make another video later today or tomorrow. So, yeah, let me know what you think. And, yeah, you know, definitely watch MrREPZION's videos. They're really good. And hopefully you'll like mine more, so I'm going to start doing more of these instead of just the video gaming stuff. So, peace out. Bye.